Hi, mamas. It is Steph Pellish here at Thriving Through Motherhood. And I figured I would answer some questions that I'm getting about the Thriving Mamas group. We are starting our next group in February of 2022. And it's a small group, so it will be a limited size because I do like the intimate setting of it. And I think that it allows more for personalization, but I also then offer one-on-one sessions to the mamas that are inside of this group so that what we're learning each week, then we can kind of talk about how it applies to your life, um, in relation to your family and the realities of what your situation might be. And so right now we have a small group, and it allows for some of that conversation to happen inside of the group. It allows for sharing, but it also, because it's a group and because of the format, you don't have to share. You can come, you can take what it is that you need. I strongly encourage people to share because I think when we share, when we become vulnerable, it allows for us to share that experience and also share the feelings that come with that, and recognize that other people may be going through the same thing, or allow other people to support us, whether emotionally or through their own experiences and what they did to get through something. It is a 12-week group with 10 group sessions. And so that's 2 weeks that are holidays, or there's stuff going on that we won't meet, but you will have very small homework assignments to do each week. And by homework, I don't mean like, oh, I need to write my list of 10 things, or I have to do this. It's really individual. So I give you homework, I give you this, we go over a topic for the week, and then we talk about how can you apply it in your life today? How can you create a way to incorporate something into your routine already? Or maybe it's take something out of your routine. I like to add things in to a routine because I feel like that's where we get most benefit. And I feel like sometimes it's easier to add something before we take something else away. Um, but again, depending on the week, depending on the strategy, depending on where you're at and what we're talking about, we do talk about those. I do give examples of how you can do that work for the week. Sometimes it has to do with money, sometimes it has to do with health. Most of the time, it has to do with showing up for your kids or showing up for your husband or for yourself. This group is really about relationships, and those relationships that are a priority to us as moms are those relationships with our spouses, our partners, our kids, and really ourselves. Because when we get to know who we are, it allows us to better define what we want everything else to look like in our life, but it also gives us that power to create that life that we want. But I wanted to share something with you guys, and it might be backwards when I share it, but one of the systems that I use, oh, it's not backwards, yeah. One of the systems that I use is called Brave. And this is where we start. We start where you're at, wherever you're at. And we go through this whole brave path to get to Thriving Mama, because we do have to be brave to get there. If we're not taking that brave action, if we're living passively, it's how we end up in debt. It's how we end up overweight. It's how we end up unhealthy. It's how we end up living a life that we never expected. And so taking that brave, bold step is really how we get to where we want to be. And listen, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be easy and, oh, this is what I want and I'm going to get here tomorrow. No, it's a journey. we've got to go on this path to get to that thriving place. And then when we get there, something else happens. Another season comes up, another challenge comes up in our life, and we start again. And we look at these things. So we look at boundaries. We look at the realities of our situation. We look at alignment. What is in alignment for us? What are the things that feel good for us? What are the values that we have? This is something that I talk about with all of my mom clients. When we know what our core values are, when we know what the values are that make us who we are, regardless of anything else, that's when we know what we want. It's when we know how to make decisions and how to prioritize those things that are important in our life. And so we spend a lot of time on values. And then the E is expectations, your expectations, others' expectations, cultural expectations. And some of those we have to debunk. Some of those are just stories that we've been told, or other people's stuff, or other things that we've been taught by culture that we need to debunk, that we need to pull apart and figure out, again, like, what is aligned with you? What are your values? What are your expectations? What are your realities? All of those things. What are your boundaries? And when we find that, when we realize that, that's when we realize that we get to this place of thriving, because we're in control of our lives. We have taken control of living the life that we want. Now, that doesn't mean that everything happens exactly as we want it to, but it means that when something happens, we are controlling how we feel about it and how we respond. We are taking that power to respond in the way that is alignment with us, is using our boundaries and our expectations and all of those things. And so if this is something that you think would be really beneficial for you, if you are ready to be brave, be bold, go through this journey, have a community of moms that are also going on this journey, learning new strategies, new systems to help you get there, then the Thriving Mamas group is most definitely the place for you. I enjoy it so much. I enjoy showing up in this group. Again, like, it's me teaching. And while I'm teaching, I'm also learning from the moms that are in this group through their experience, through their use of tools and strategies. I've been working with moms for 15 years. I've been offering strategies and tools to moms for 15 years. I've also been a mom for almost 12 years. I have 4 kids. I have a lot of experience on what works and why things work, and what doesn't work, or why things work in only one season and not another. And I can share those with you. I can tell you why things work so you can figure out if it works in your life. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to offer the ideas of how to get to that thriving journey, how to get to that point where you feel like you're thriving and it's going to be yours to take. So mama, I would love for you to join me. You can hit the link in the comments to find out more information, or you can reach out through a DM to get more information about all of the things. There is an investment for this group. The investment is $1,497. And honestly, I'll tell you, that's cheap. Because when we make the decision to take our life, to take control of our lives and to take control of those decisions, the impact that that has is immeasurable. You wouldn't think twice if I told you that your kids had travel soccer that you had to pay $3,000 for, or that your daughter's dance costs $4,000 this year, or your kid's tuition is X amount of money. But when we put a price on something for ourselves, like, we get coaches for sports, we get coaches to do all of these things. But who teaches us how to live our life? At what point can we learn that it's okay to ask for help, to live our life in a way that feels congruent to us, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through a life coach? And mama, you need to find someone who's a good fit for you. And so if that means having a conversation with me and realizing that this isn't a good fit, that's okay. But if you are still watching this video, if you feel like something that I've said resonates with you, then mama, reach out. It's time. It is time for you to thrive. And I can't wait to support you on your journey and to see all of the places that you're going. I am here to support you, mama, in any way that you need. Have a great day.